Think a dime is only worth 10 cents? Not always. Some Roosevelt and Mercury dimes carry rare dates, mint marks, or striking errors that make them worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Check your change. Your next dime could be a collector's treasure. The 1970 United States one-dime coin, better known as the Roosevelt dime, is one of those coins that millions of Americans have carried in their pockets, dropped into vending machines, or tossed into tip jars without ever pausing to think about its story. For most people, it is nothing more than 10 cents. But for coin collectors and numismatists, the 1970 dime is far more than a simple piece of change. It is a coin that bridges the past and present, tells a story of transition in U.S. coinage, and in some rare cases, can command jaw-dropping values at auction, ranging anywhere from tens of thousands of dollars to even over $100,000 for rare varieties and errors. That's right, what many people see as a small, everyday coin could, in some forms, be worth as much as a brand new luxury car or even a down payment on a house. To understand the significance of the 1970 Roosevelt dime, we first need to revisit its origins. The Roosevelt dime was introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who had passed away the year before. Roosevelt's legacy as a leader during the Great Depression and World War II was profound, but he was also closely connected to the March of Dimes campaign to combat polio. It was fitting that the dime, the smallest denomination in regular use, became a tribute to his memory. The design, created by Chief Engraver John R. Sinek, features Roosevelt's left-facing portrait on the obverse, with the word Liberty along the left edge, the motto "In God We Trust" positioned below his chin, and the date, 1970, appearing to the right. Depending on the mint, you will also find a small mint mark above the date, P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, and S for San Francisco, with San Francisco coins often being proof issues made for collectors. On the reverse, the design is equally iconic. It features a torch in the center, symbolizing liberty, flanked by an olive branch on the left for peace and an oak branch on the right for strength and independence. The inscriptions read United States of America, around the top, E pluribus unum, across the middle, and one dime at the bottom. It's a simple yet powerful design that has endured for decades. By 1970, the U.S. Mint had already transitioned away from silver coinage for circulation. Prior to 1965, Roosevelt dimes were struck in 90% silver and 10% copper. But the rising cost of silver made it impractical for everyday coinage, leading to the Coinage Act of 1965, which introduced a clad composition of copper and nickel. The 1970 dime, therefore, was struck in this copper-nickel clad format, with a pure copper core sandwiched between outer layers of 75% copper and 25% nickel. Each coin weighs 2.27 grams and measures 17.9 millimeters in diameter. However, for collectors, proof dimes struck at the San Francisco Mint in 1970 included both clad and silver issues, meaning that silver still played a role, but only in special collectible sets. Mintage numbers for 1970 dimes are impressive, reflecting the mass production needed to keep up with everyday commerce. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 345 million dimes, while the Denver Mint produced over 754 million. The San Francisco Mint, focusing on proof coins for collectors, struck just over 2.6 million proofs. With such massive production numbers, most 1970 dimes are common and worth only face value in circulated condition. But what makes them interesting is not their overall mintage, but the rare survivors in pristine condition and the unique varieties and errors that slipped out of the mint. Condition plays a crucial role in determining value. Most dimes from 1970 circulated heavily, developing scratches, dings, and where that diminished their eye appeal. But high-grade examples, those graded Mint State 67 or Mint State 68 by services like PCGS or NGC, are much scarcer. A coin that looks ordinary in the hand may, under professional grading, reveal itself to be nearly flawless, with sharp detail and lustrous surfaces. These gems can command hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. In fact, some of the finest known examples of the 1970 dime have reached into the high four-figure range, proving just how much collectors are willing to pay for quality. Where things get truly fascinating, however, is in the realm of varieties and mint errors. One of the most famous rarities tied to 1970 is the 1970 proof dime that was mistakenly struck on a 1941 Canadian dime planchet. This extraordinary wrong planchet error is one of a kind and has sold for staggering amounts at auction, easily crossing the $100,000 mark. For collectors, this is the holy grail of 1970 dimes, a mistake that transformed a common proof coin into a legendary rarity. Other error types also exist and add significant value. Off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing because the planchet was misaligned, can bring in hundreds or thousands depending on severity. Double-struck coins, where the coin received two impressions, create dramatic overlapping images that are highly desirable. Broad strikes, where the coin expanded beyond its normal size because of a collar malfunction, are also collectible. Then there are transitional errors or wrong planchet errors, such as dimes accidentally struck on penny or foreign coin blanks. These are exceedingly rare and can sell for tens of thousands. Proof dimes from 1970 also hold a special place in the collector market. The San Francisco Mint issued both clad and silver proofs, with mirror-like fields and frosted designs. Collectors seek out the highest graded examples, especially those certified as PR70 Deep Cameo, which are nearly perfect coins. These can sell for several $100s each, with some varieties reaching higher depending on demand. Auction history has shown just how valuable the 1970 dime can be under the right circumstances. While most coins are only worth 10 cents, rare high-grade pieces and extraordinary errors have shocked the numismatic world. A pristine Mint State 68 clad dime can sell for thousands, while spectacular errors like the wrong planchet 1970 proof dime have realized prices between $40,000 and $130,000 at major auctions. These stories fuel the imaginations of collectors and casual searchers alike, keeping alive the hope that a valuable coin might still be hiding in plain sight. The 1970 Roosevelt dime is more than just a small piece of currency. It represents a moment in American coinage history, when the nation had fully embraced clad coinage, but still produced special silver proofs for collectors. It carries the enduring design of Roosevelt, a symbol of leadership and resilience, paired with the timeless imagery of liberty, peace, and strength on the reverse. And most importantly, it serves as a reminder that no coin should ever be overlooked. The beauty of coin collecting lies in discovery. It lies in the thrill of holding a coin that others see as ordinary, but that carries a hidden story, a rarity, or a flaw that transforms it into a treasure. The 1970 dime proves that even the smallest coin can hold enormous value, not just in dollars, but in history, artistry, and the excitement it inspires in collectors. So the next time you find a dime dated 1970, don't dismiss it as just another 10 cents. Look at it closely, check its condition, examine it for errors, and if it's a proof coin, pay attention to the details. Who knows? You might be holding a coin that looks ordinary yet could be worth far more than you ever imagined. The 1970 Roosevelt dime stands as proof that every coin, no matter how small, has the potential to tell a story, and some stories are worth a fortune. The 1981 United States one-dime coin may look like just another small piece of change, the kind of coin that gets tossed into car cup holders, forgotten in pockets, or used for quick purchases without a second thought. But for collectors and enthusiasts who know the intricacies of coinage, the 1981 Roosevelt dime tells a story of overlooked details, minting errors, and surprising auction results that can transform a 10-cent piece into a prize worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. While most people glance past this coin without noticing, the careful eye of a numismatist can reveal flaws, imperfections, and variations that dramatically change its value. Some 1981 dimes, depending on grade, condition, and error type, have crossed auction blocks with impressive results, proving that what seems common at first can actually hide extraordinary worth. The Roosevelt dime had by then been a fixture of U.S. coinage for over 3 decades. First issued in 1946 to honor President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the dime carried his left-facing portrait on the obverse, designed by John R. Sinek. The reverse featured a torch flanked by an olive branch on the left and an oak branch on the right, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. By 1981, Americans had grown so accustomed to the design that it blended into everyday life. But behind the scenes, changes in minting practices, massive production runs, and the sheer volume of coins produced opened the door for unusual variations and striking errors. This was the early 1980s, a time when the U.S. Mint was producing billions of coins each year to meet national demand. In 1981, the Mint struck dimes at both Philadelphia and Denver facilities, as well as proofs at San Francisco. While the vast majority of these coins were routine circulation strikes, even the smallest misalignment in dies or an accidental use of the wrong planchet created coins that today bring strong premiums. One of the most notable aspects of 1981 dimes is the proof coins from San Francisco. This year marked one of the important transitions in proof production. Proof coins are struck with specially prepared dies and planchets, producing coins with mirror-like fields and frosted designs. Collectors particularly watch for Type 1 and Type 2 varieties in the 1981 S proofs. The Type 1 mint mark features a rounded S, while the Type 2 features a clearer, sharper S. The Type 2 proofs are scarcer and, when graded PR69 or PR70 deep cameo, command significant premiums at auction. But the real surprises come from error coins. Off-center strikes from 1981 show partial designs with blank spaces, and depending on the percentage of the strike missing, values can range from $100 to several $100s. Double-struck examples, where the coin received two impressions, sometimes with dramatic shifts, are even more eye-catching and highly collectible. Wrong planchet errors, such as a dime struck on a cent or foreign coin blank, are among the rarest and can command prices well above $1,000 at auction. These are the types of mistakes that collectors dream of finding because they combine rarity with undeniable visual appeal. Grading plays a critical role in the value of any 1981 dime. Circulated examples may still be worth face value, but uncirculated mint state coins with high grades, such as MS66 or MS67, are far scarcer. A 1981 P or 1981 D dime in MS67 full torch designation, where the details of the torch on the reverse are fully struck and sharp, can easily bring hundreds of dollars. Auction records have shown some top population coins selling for prices that surprise even seasoned collectors at major auctions. Standout examples of the 1981 dime have crossed the block with impressive results. One high-grade 1981 D dime with the full torch designation reached into the high hundreds, while proof Type 2 coins graded PR70 deep cameo have sold for strong four-figure prices. Error coins from this year have also appeared, with dramatic off-center or double-strike examples realizing several $100s depending on their quality and rarity. These sales prove that even in a modern coin from the 1980s, rarity and condition remain king in determining collector value. What makes the 1981 dime so interesting is that it straddles the line between being modern enough to feel common and yet old enough to have developed an aura of collectability. Billions were produced, but only a handful exist in pristine condition or with spectacular mint errors. That tension between the ordinary and the extraordinary fuels the excitement for collectors. It means that anyone, whether searching through change, rolls from the bank, or inherited collections, has the chance to stumble upon a hidden gem. For the average person, a dime is just a dime. But for the dedicated collector, a 1981 Roosevelt dime can be a key to uncovering history, design, and financial reward all at once. It carries the legacy of Franklin Roosevelt, the craftsmanship of the mint, and the thrill of the hunt. And when one of these coins makes its way into the auction spotlight, with prices reaching hundreds or even thousands, it reminds us again that the most unassuming objects often hold the greatest surprises. The 1995 United States Roosevelt dime is one of those coins that, for most people, goes completely unnoticed. It is the small silver-colored coin we toss in a change jar, spend without thinking, or let sit in drawers for years. But for coin collectors and treasure hunters, the 1995 dime is more than a simple 10-cent piece. It is a coin that carries history, artistry, and in rare cases, the potential for serious value, especially when minting errors or superb preservation come into play. To understand the 1995 dime, it's important to step back and look at its design, its minting history, and why certain examples have commanded incredible auction prices far beyond their face value. On the obverse, or front, of the 1995 dime, we see the familiar portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. This design was first introduced in 1946, shortly after Roosevelt's death, to honor him for his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, and his pivotal role in supporting the March of Dimes campaign that fought polio. Sculpted by John R. Sinek, The design has endured for decades, showing Roosevelt's left-facing profile, with the inscriptions Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, the date 1995, and a small mint mark indicating where the coin was struck. The reverse of the coin carries the iconic torch flanked by an olive branch on the left and an oak branch on the right. This design symbolizes liberty, peace, and strength, values closely associated with Roosevelt's legacy. Above the design are the words United States of America, and below it, the denomination, 1 dime. The Latin phrase e pluribus unum appears across the center, reminding us of the nation's unity from many states. Now, in 1995, dimes were struck at 3 U.S. mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia mint, identified by the absence of a mint mark or later by a P, struck over 1.1 billion dimes that year. The Denver mint, marked by a D, struck nearly 1.3 billion coins. And the San Francisco mint, responsible for proof issues, produced around 2.3 million coins, mostly intended for collectors. With mintage numbers in the billions, the 1995 dime in ordinary condition is extremely common and worth only face value in circulation. But as always in numismatics, the story changes when you focus on condition and error varieties. High-grade examples of the 1995 dime can be surprisingly valuable. Collectors seek coins with sharp strikes, brilliant luster, and no visible marks or blemishes. These are graded by professional services such as PCGS or NGC. A 1995 P dime in MS-67 condition may sell for $100 to $200, while MS-68 examples, exceptionally rare for a coin produced in such massive numbers, have brought prices over $800 at auction. The Denver coins follow a similar pattern, with MS-68 examples known to have sold for close to $1,000. Proof coins graded PR70 Deep Cameo are also prized, with auction sales reaching around $150 to $300. But where the real excitement comes is in error coins. The 1995 dime has produced a fascinating array of mint errors that transform a small 10-cent piece into a highly desirable collectible. For example, double die errors, where part of the design shows doubling due to die misalignment, are among the most sought after. Some 1995 dimes display noticeable doubling on the inscriptions like Liberty or In God We Trust. Depending on how strong the doubling is, these coins can sell from $75 to several $100s. Off-center strikes are another popular error type. In these cases, the dime was not correctly centered in the press, leaving part of the design missing and creating a blank crescent of metal. A small off-center error might fetch $50, while dramatic examples showing 40% to 60% off-center with a visible date can bring $200 to $400 at auction. Broad strikes are also known from 1995 dimes. These occur when the coin is struck outside the retaining collar, causing it to spread larger than normal. Such errors usually sell for $40 to $100. More dramatic are double strikes, in which the coin was struck twice, sometimes rotated between strikes, producing overlapping designs. These rare errors are highly collectible, often bringing $150 to $500, depending on the severity. Perhaps the rarest and most valuable errors are wrong planchet strikes. Every once in a while, a dime will be struck on the wrong metal blank, such as a cent planchet, nickel planchet, or even a foreign coin blank. These errors are incredibly scarce and almost always command four-figure prices at auction. A 1995 dime struck on a cent planchet has been known to sell for over $3,000, while examples struck on nickel or foreign planchets can fetch similar amounts. Auction records highlight just how much collectors are willing to pay for the right coin. For instance, a 1995 D Roosevelt dime graded MS-68FB, full bands, by PCGS realized over $1,200 in a heritage auction sale, showing the power of condition rarity. Full bands refers to the horizontal lines on the torch being fully separated and well struck, a detail highly prized by collectors. Proof coins from San Francisco have also crossed the $200 mark when certified as PR70 Deep Cameo, with perfect mirrors and frosted devices. Error coins often bring even more excitement. A 1995 dime with a dramatic 50% off-center strike sold for nearly $400, while another struck on a cent planchet achieved over $2,500 at auction. These stories fuel the passion of collectors who check every dime they come across, hoping to find that one coin that escaped the mint's quality control. What makes the 1995 dime so engaging is that it's a coin most people think of as ordinary and spend without thought, yet in the right condition or with the right minting mistake, it transforms into a treasure worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And with billions of them produced, the possibility still exists that rare examples are out there hiding in jars, drawers, or pocket change, waiting to be discovered. The 1995 Roosevelt dime represents continuity and surprise at the same time. It's part of a design series that has been around for decades, honoring one of America's greatest presidents and his legacy. Yet it also offers the thrill of discovery, with high-grade survivors and dramatic mint errors that break away from the norm. Collectors are drawn to this balance of history and rarity, which is why coins like the 1995 dime continue to captivate the imagination of the numismatic community. So the next time you come across a 1995 dime, don't just pass it along as 10 cents. Take a closer look. Check the strike, examine the details of the torch, the lettering, and the date. Look for doubling, off-center features, or signs of unusual errors. Who knows? The coin you're holding could be worth far more than you think, carrying a story from the mint floor all the way to an auction stage where collectors battle for the chance to own a small but extraordinary piece of American history.